Welcome back to the Eric Krown crypto channel, and it's happened, baby. It's absolutely happened. Bitcoin believers in disbelief as Bitcoin trades back above 18,000, prices that haven't been seen since about a month ago, and still a far shot away from anything that was super exciting from over a year ago. But that's just what we've been relegated to. So I wanted to be coming at this analysis yet again with the continuation of the thread of analysis that we've been on for like the last month and a half now, that has been suggesting that higher first is a lot more likely than lower, which seems to be playing out, and then also perhaps go over the lower term time frames as well. Now, of course, today being Thursday is CPI day, so do understand that around CPI time, there's probably gonna be some nice wiki-washy action. I'm not gonna pretend to know that I can read the mind of Jay Powell, nor do I pretend that anyone, or including myself, fully understands macro analysis. So you know what? I will hold off on commenting from that. But ultimately, what I can certainly promise you, or with a 99.99999% probability, expect a lot of volatility around that time. And we'll talk about the major areas to be aware of heading into something like that are very important for the more long-term picture. All right, sweet. So other than that, I should remind you, don't forget to like and subscribe. And don't forget to like and subscribe. I don't fucking know what you say next. All right, sweet. Let's jump into it over here. I want to start off with the daily. Short term, Bitcoin likely has found, a short-term pullback based off of the top side of the blue range highs. That's a 50% of historical returns range highs here on the daily. So that was essentially our target yesterday based upon the break of 17.5 and also a continuation of the higher term time frame setups that have been viable for the last week or so now. Taking its time. LARP line's working out, but again, I want to remind anyone who's been on this channel, or especially new people on this channel, that hey, these are not like one-to-one representations, and take it with a massive grain of salt ultimately. But I do like this area for a little bit of a short-term pullback heading into CPI. That also does imply that if we do start to see closures above this region, which essentially is about let's just call it 18,500 and round up there, then I would be looking for the next major leg up over the course of the next month, likely into the $20,000 territory. Yes, there probably will be a stop along the way at 19,200. We'll get to that one a little bit later, but for right now, that's kind of what I'm looking at heading into this little event, which is actually kind of a big event. Anyways, let me just reference my notes and let's jump into it, starting off with this chart over here. So this is one of the main charts that we've been running off of. This is the 2-day time frame, volatility versus stochastic momentum signature. Once again, it is provided. It's taken a lot of patience, and at the end of the day, these are just statistics. That's what I'm mostly interested in as a systems-based trader, as opposed to a discretionary-based trader. And in this case, what essentially is a setup? Well, we have observed that extreme lows on volatility, which is represented by this BBWP indicator right here, over the course of the last 5 years has led to an average move of about 35% over the course of almost 3 weeks. Again, these are averages, and the stochastic also have been correct in getting the direction of that volatility expansion about 84.5% of the time. Looks like that number will be going up because this one has yet again played out, or is playing out in that fashion, as the stochastic oscillator down here is, well, obviously pointed to the north side and will be remaining with upside pressure as long as Bitcoin's closing above, 16,600. Also, I want to once again highlight the trend line that has been governing the lows from the last, I guess this is like 4 months now, going back to the September rally, the November rally, and the current January rally that we are experiencing as of right now. So with that in mind, again, what is new about this? Well, what's new about this is that upon closure tonight, it's going to have a chance to confirm full-on volatility expansion, as the BBWP indicator is not only getting a positive slope, not only above the moving average, but also currently that is above the 10 percentile marker, which is where I kind of identify the extreme lows, if you will. So for right now, looking good. I do also want to say that because volatility has been so low for so long now, that does imply that the overall effect is probably going to be on the greater side. Similar to what we saw back on over here. This was precipitating the November dump, heading into the FTX saga. And before that, the only time that we'd really witnessed something this low for this long was June. Before that was the major move down from about 32,000 bucks to $18,000. Anyways, so with all of that in mind, that would essentially suggest that hey, Bitcoin likely does trade up higher over the next coming weeks into the end of January. Damn it, Discord, stop that. And I just realized that my computer is not plugged in, so I should probably do that. Well, it probably has enough battery, so it should be okay. Anyways, yes, so where was I before I just interrupted myself? I'm so fucking rude now, aren't I? To myself. Yes. Okay, so yeah. Also, 2-day time frame is going to confirm DMI support on this particular stochastic setup right there as well. And now we can move into the 5-day and the weekly. So the 5-day setup is, still kind of the same where we left it off from the other day. In this case, it's the same signature over here. It's not closing for another 3 days, so I don't think that is super relevant. But what I want to say is that if the 2-day time frame continues, it will very likely bleed into the 5-day time frame, and then these stats will be viable, and this move can get a lot more severe, I suppose, to the upside. That reminds me, I should probably play around with these numbers and talk about where we could potentially expect based off price statistics. Into the next few weeks, basically like late January, early February. And again, if we take a first standard deviation of these measurements, we can see that the bottom end of that is about 25.5%. So, playing around with this right here, 25% off of the current lows would put Bitcoin at about $20,000. 35% puts Bitcoin more around 20.5 to $21,000. So that's potentially what could be in store. Based upon that. Anyways, now moving on. Yes, okay. What I wanted to talk about was over here on the weekly for CME. So we spoke about yesterday on the 5-day time frame that based upon the prior closure, phantom regular bullish evidence was confirmed alongside continuation of the 5-day jewel. And again, this is in a low volatility regime. Well, that's now bleeding into the weekly time frame, which is a good signal for the blue laws, I suppose, with a third drive of bullish evidence off this current low, also getting out of the bearish control zone for the first time in months here, going back to October before that last that last bull trap. And the weekly jewel is also starting to get some like a confirmation of the signal, which personally speaking, I do think that one was already confirmed as of this over here, which was end of December. Anyways, that would suffice to say that, generally speaking, the sort of intermediary target based upon that is usually around the 21, which is this yellow moving average right here at about 19,200. That's where I was getting that earlier number from. Probably a short-term pullback based upon that. And then, closing above there, probably looking into the mid-20s. So cool, I guess. Well, maybe. Anyways, so we spoke about that. Now I want to get back into the low term timeframes over here. So should I go to the 4? Should I go to the hourly? It's kind of all the same right now for the lower term timeframes. But when the CPI data comes out later today, do understand that again, you're going to see some wiki price action. It's going to be, it would be just as relevant, like something like that, right? Not exactly like that. Again, it's a LARP line, but expect a lot of movement. The critical thing here for the blue laws to hold to is yesterday's breakout, which was about 17,500 on a closing basis. That is to say that as long as Bitcoin is above that level, I do generally look for for any pullback to just be that, a pullback setting another higher low, similar to what we saw yesterday based upon the short-term time frame pullback, and then continuation. I should note, however, that stochastic momentum, could very easily favor a pullback. Also probably favors a little bit of a pullback if these next criteria are met. So the 12-hour time frame will turn down with Bitcoin closing below 18,200. Right now it's actually above, so it's not super concerning. 6-hour time frame will turn down as long as Bitcoin's below 18,400, which it is about $100 below. 4-hour time frames is actually up as well, as long as Bitcoin's above 18,230, and the hourly is going to be technically down right now, but also pivoted at 18,350. So see a lot of things coming in around those levels. Basically, see Bitcoin lose about 18,000 bucks, or a little bit above 18,000, look for a pullback into the upper 17s. Like, that's obvious. Like, if Bitcoin goes below $10, it will go to $9.99. Crazy, right? But again, just like yesterday, short-term pullback, just not concerning until Bitcoin's closing below 17,500. Until then, I still look towards the higher term time frame models as likely be getting more continuation over the course of the next 3 to 5 weeks, let's say. Anyways, I think that's a good place for me to be leaving off on this particular video. I do want to say a sincere thank you for all the people who are tuning in during these times. I understand that it's been extremely boring over the last month and a half, 2 months. These last 2 days have been rather exciting, I'd say. So hey, congrats for sticking around, and hopefully more to come as well. As always, wishing you the best of the best. Take care, much love, and see you hopefully soon.